Greetings to you all out there watching My Media Prime Television right now, and thanks for joining us on the 6:30 p.m. daily newscast, the first for this week. My name is Macdella, Eyong, Bisong, and of course, the news is coming to you live from Douala, Cameroon's economic capital city. We begin today's edition of the newscast in the northwest region of the country, where ahead of March 12 senatorial elections in Menchum Division, with the intensity of campaign from CPDM party, Menchum Division's CPDM campaign leader, Honorable Nji Fidelis, has called on Menchum potential electors to give candidates and party 100% to set the pace for change and innovation for their great party. Charles Kebua reports from Bamenda.
Launching the CPDM senatorial campaign for March 12, 2023 after the CPDM grand launch in Bamenda, the Menchum CPDM councillors from the four councils, Benakuma, Furawa, Wum and Zwa, at the Wum Town Hall, March 5, 2023, took firm commitment, correcting the errors of 2018 and tightening the gap from any potential SDF. Menchum campaign leader for the CPDM, Honorable Nji Fidelis Muzia, just like the CPDM section president Menchum won during the launch, like they did in 2013, where Menchum won 100%. The Menchum CPDM campaign leader, Honorable Nji Fidelis, said Menchum will set the pace for change and innovation for their great party by voting the young dynamic candidate of the CPDM and flush the SDF out.
We did it well exercise and we were able to make 100%. I hope that we do the same this time. The message is simple. Menchum will set the pace of change and innovation of our great national party by voting in the young dynamic candidate of the Senate that we have proposed.
Presenting the Menchum senatorial candidate, Kobenge Sekedi Bome, an alternate whom addressing councillors said if voted will strengthen the collaboration between the Senate, municipal and regional councils, work as a team, strengthen relationship, ensure development across the four subdivisions of Menchum.
Of development in Menchum, across all the four subdivisions of Menchum. Projects, obviously, that are executed by the councils. We know that Menchum needs projects in water, in roads, education, health, and many others. And that is what we are going to do to strengthen that relationship.
Wum Council Mayor Drambong Anthony, who doubles as the first Vice National President of the United Councils of Cities of Cameroon, said, given youths have been clamoring for youths in every aspect of life, Menchum has started showing the example.
And always we have the youngest candidates for the senatorial election. That's something worth taking home. The youths have been clamoring for youths in every aspect of life. They know the Menchum has started by showing that example. A dynamic man who can run left and right, who can be sent.
Patrick Akwa, CPDM chargé de missions to Kamwata Board Chair, concluding, said, the situation for the 12th March senatorial in Menchum is a wait and see 100% victory for the CPDM. Having the youngest in the list of the CPDM senatorial come March 12. Menchum, very special like in 2013, will this 2023 set the pace and others follow.
The CPDM senatorial campaign team from the division held a strategic meeting on how to record 100% win come March 12, 2023 during the senatorial elections. Derek Chatto reports.
The Indian Divisional Permanent Delegation of the Central Committee on the ticket of the Cameroon People Democratic Movement, the CPDM, is strategizing and with one mission in mind as they count down to the senatorial elections in Cameroon narrows.
Dian has a total of 247 councillors, both at the regional and at the communal level. We are required to reflect this number come 12 March 2023 in terms of active participation. I mean active, not just participation, but active. Here we mean effectively casting our votes in favor of our national party and our candidates.
Headed by Minister, Director of Cabinet at the Prime Minister's Office, Ebone Confiance, who sat in for the Cameroon Prime Minister and Head of Government, Chief Dr. Joseph John Gute, in his opening statement, call on the actors to step forward as the campaigns to the upper house get heated all over the national territory.
The onus of this responsibility is solely on the mayors and the local party leaders. You are therefore called upon to galvanize your troop, not only for a 100% participation, but again for an effective vote.
And that the entire nation will be watching Anjan division and its outcome.
It must be borne in mind that the entire nation is watching Dian to witness their pledge to the ruling party. Towards this endeavor, they should fully assume the role and obligation for which they were elected in accordance with party discipline.
Before declaring the session open, Minister Ewane Confiance revealed that Njan division had never failed the CBDM party.
I have no doubt, as we have always done, Njan has always been a very good student of our great party. In declaring this session open, I call for fruitful exchanges for a successful and smooth session.
The 2023 senatorial elections in Cameroon will hold March 12, 2023.
We now take you to the Noon Division West region of the country, where a man and his 5 children have died during their sleep under mysterious circumstances. Their lifeless body was found in their home at Kupa Meki on March 4, 2023. Ewane has details.
The man, whose name we got as Oseni, alongside his 5 children aged 6 months to 7 years, have been found dead in their home in Kupa Meki, a locality in the Noon Division West region of Cameroon. Their lifeless bodies were discovered in the early hours of Saturday, March 4, 2023, when the family never woke up from their sleep. The real cause of their death is yet unknown, but according to preliminary reports from local sources, Oseni, who is said to be in his 40s alongside his children, are believed to have consumed a toxic substance before going to bed the previous night. That notwithstanding, while investigations are ongoing to ascertain the real cause of what killed the family of 6, it should be noted that cases of food poisoning, which sometimes claims the life of many, have been a common phenomenon across the country. Recall that in August 2022, 3 kids lost their lives after consuming a poisonous substance in the Douala littoral region, and in October 2022, 2 kids died as a result of food poisoning in Eyong, Northwest region. In the same light, a couple alongside 20 others were poisoned during their wedding in Mbalmayo West region of Cameroon, just to name a few. The population is, however, encouraged to be conscious of what and how they eat in order to avoid similar occurrences.
In line with the theme of this year's celebration of International Women's Day, which focuses on empowering women in the digital world, our reporter Joy Ngong met with female Cameroonian techpreneur Tatiana Claudia and detailed her experiences in the following report.
27-year-old Tatiana Claudia did not expect to be a techpreneur, nor did she expect to be the founder of a web app. Her life changed 3 years ago when she obtained a scholarship.
Growing up, I wanted to be either a chemical engineer or a medical doctor, which is one of the reasons why I decided to study S1. So, but after some time, after some research, after some encouragement for some people I knew, then after the scholarship, when I had a scholarship, I said, okay, why don't I give it a try? Then I reached out to 1 or 2 people who I knew were already in the field. Then after they say, okay, they gave me some encouraging words, and that's how I got into the field, and I love it.
Since 2021, with the birth of her web app, Tokam, Tatiana Claudia is successfully contributing her fair share to technology and online education of women and the girl child.
Tokam is a virtual report desk and therapeutic platform on which victims, survivors, witnesses. But I think for my dad, because he had other plans for me, it's not like he had other plans for me. My dad wanted me to be a banker. because that was his dream, which he did not fulfill. So he wanted his first child to fulfill those dreams. He had other plans for me. Then I think some of the challenges I faced was while I was in class, my male counterparts at some point, they were always better.
Tatiana's story demonstrates the power of digital access, particularly to empower women and girls.
Being involved in the digital field has given me access to a lot of opportunities. In fact, it has opened doors to me I wouldn't have ever gotten into those places without this. Right now, for example, I did apply for some schools out. I had the opportunity to have recommendation letters from Harvard University. That is due to my involvement in the digital field. I have had the opportunity to meet people I wouldn't have met if I wasn't in this field. I have had the opportunity to have contacts of people I wouldn't have had if I wasn't in this field. Then plus the financial aspect of it, I think it has been positive this far.
The theme of this year's Women's Day emphasizes on the need to promote the digital empowerment of women, inviting all women and young girls to support diversity and equality in digital spaces.
Many thanks to you, Eyong, for compiling that report. The 20th edition of the Guardian Post Achievement Award took place on Saturday, March 5, 2023 in Douala, Cameroon's economic capital city, under the distinguished patronage of the Minister of Communication, and it saw distinguished Cameroonians honored. Island Sama was there and then filed in the following report.
The Guardian Post Achievement Award is 20 years old, and according to the CEO of the Guardian Post newspaper, Nga Christian, the objective of the award is being met every edition.
The objective of this award has remained the same from its inception, to acknowledge and recognize those who save Cameroon and Cameroonians selflessly, and those who contribute towards nation building. That has been the goal, and we've kept that up. We recognize people from various fields.
Tumfo Barrister Nico Hale was a proud laureate celebrating his 167th award.
That I know that there is somebody who is motivating me, who is pushing me to do things which people appreciate. And so I give glory to God alone. And then, of course, I dedicate this award to all those who are crusading against corruption, embezzlement, bribery, misappropriation.
For outstanding innovation in secondary education sector, Professor Nalova Lyonga wins the 2022 Woman of the Year. She was represented at the event by the Regional Delegate of Secondary Education for the Littoral, Eboa Tamnjong.
We want to thank the initiative of Guardian Post and also thank her for the energy that she has to do that job, because it's not easy. She's always going up and down along the country to try to make sure that everything is going on well, and also to make sure that the changes that she wants are going on. So I think today is a normal recognition for her.
Another outstanding recipient of the Guardian Post Award is tech entrepreneur Takosi So Chwinkwa, CEO of Easy Point.
I think it's a great achievement for me and for the people of Cameroon as a whole. I think it was not by chance. And the short and long is, I just have one advice for the youth. All we need to do is to work hard, and we should stop criticizing, especially the government. Once you are there to work for yourself, defend yourself, and the government will identify you. Once the government identifies you, then be rest assured that you move forward.
The event was attended by representatives from top microfinance organizations like Darrington Cooperative Credit Union, Zenith Insurance, and also by the Fon of Bafo, His Royal Highness Ekoko Mukete, who are all distinguished laureates among others.
We now take you to the southwest region where Fako elites both home and abroad have raised funds towards reviving the Bando festival and the building of a cultural center in Buea. The gathering took place last week at the Paramount Ruler's Palace. Our reporter Emanuela C has been following this up and now reports.
A goal that the paramount rule of Buea will stop at nothing to see it come to pass. That is the revival of the Bando Cultural Festival, an annual gathering of the Bakri people to showcase their cultural heritage and the building of a multicultural arts center. Meetings after meetings have been held with the main goal for all to agree and forge ahead with this great project. An idea that many Fako elites, both home and abroad, have bought, and now funds are being raised to make this big dream come to pass.
We have been meeting in different capacities, but not all the Fako elites as we find today. These Fako people, in their faces, it portrayed, it was an eloquent proof to show that the Fako people have been waiting patiently for this day, that they will come together, sit as one people, sit as a family, put their heads together to see that they come up with ideas to revive the Fako culture and present to the world the riches of Fako.
The Nanyomo of Buea representing the mountain and the Ikanya of Limbe representing the sea in one accord are working towards this cause. Sons and daughters around the national territory were called for this great fundraising event. It is hoped that the Bando Cultural Festival will begin this year, December 2023.
And back to the Northwest region, Pinyin youths in Santa Subdivision have been urged to stand by President Paul Biya and work towards maintaining peace and stability in their locality in the Northwest region. The youths had a strategic meeting in Douala under the supervision of their kinsman and mentor, Teneng Ignatius. Details in the following report compiled for us by Derek Chato.
Pinyin youth are strategizing on how to push for peace and stability in their territory. During a courtesy visit to their mentor, elite and advisor, Teneng Ignatius, the youth expressed their willingness to work with the elite for peace to reign in their territory.
We came for a visit in my father's compound. So we thank him so much. We are really grateful to have him as a father. We really thank him so much. The advice he has been given to us with the encouragement.
The youth have called on those in the bush to accept President Biya olive branch by laying down their arms to join the Pinyin peace movement. To them, this is a gesture which demonstrates President Paul Biya's fatherly approach in solving the conflict by forgiving and forgetting errors of the past for the sake of peace.
And we are really pleading on the behalf of our brothers which are in the bush to kindly drop their guns, drop their weapons. Let's support our country, move ahead. We thank our president, the head of state, President Paul Biya, for his duty and his love and for what he has been doing to us. We really thank him so much, and we pray that may God give him long life.
Reacting to the confidence bestowed on him by the youth, Pinyin elder, mentor and economic operator Teneng Ignatius called on the youth to support President Paul Biya, who is the guarantor of peace and security in Cameroon.
I can only tell them that they should continue supporting our party, CPDM, because it's a party of a great ambition and a party of emergence and a party of so many things that we are fighting to change in our nation. Our party, CPDM, is a party that if we follow it well, it can change so many things in our nation, especially with our brothers that are in the bush, to try and see as we can to lay their weapons down and come with us to join and build a future Cameroon of tomorrow.
As they separated, Pinyin youth took the commitment to rally behind President Paul Biya by ensuring that they stand behind his ideals. As the father of the nation, they believe in his ability to rescue the entire Northwest region, and Pinyin in particular, and to gain the head of state trust and confidence. They will henceforth be exemplary citizens and ambassadors of Pinyin and Cameroon.
Onto our health page, the month of March is observed as Severe Vision Awareness Month. The health campaign seeks to reduce the prevalence of severe eye diseases and infections that causes blindness over time. Bokengo Nkemia Worthy in the following report focuses on fungal eye infection and eye disease bearing many complications.
Being a severe eye condition, fungal eye infection, also called fungal keratitis, is an eye disease that affects the cornea and other parts of the eye.
When fungi affect the eyes, they can affect different layers or different parts of the eyes. The first part of the eye that can affect is the outermost transparent layer in front of the eye, known as the cornea. And the second type is a situation where the fungal infection affects the inside part of the eyes. And this can happen in two ways. Either the fungal spores gain access from the outside, or the person has a fungal infection in any other part of the body, and then this fungi travels through the bloodstream to affect either one or both of the eyes.
Caused by different fungi including Candida, Aspergillus, and Fusarium, the eye condition is triggered by many different risk factors as stated by the health personnel.
The first thing is if you have an eye injury by either a thorn or a stick. If you undergo eye surgery, maybe corneal replacement surgery or cataract surgery. If you have a chronic eye disease, if you are exposed to contaminated medical material, if you put on contact lenses, when you have chronic diseases like diabetes, or you're obese, or you have a disease that weakens your immune system, maybe HIV and AIDS, or you are on medication that can cause suppression of your immune system like steroids, you can put yourself at risk of developing fungal infection, because like we earlier mentioned, some of these fungi are living on our bodies, on our mucous membranes. You can find Candida on our mucous membranes.
With 1.4 million cases recorded yearly, and an estimated 600,000 going blind worldwide, it is important to note that
if fungal infections in the eyes are not treated, they can often lead to very devastating outcomes, and in worst case scenario, it can lead to blindness. It can destroy your eyes.
Seeking to raise awareness regarding the dangers and complications borne by eye fungal infection, including abscesses, corneal scarring, blindness, dissemination, and more. Data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention states anyone can get a fungal eye infection. Nonetheless, they encourage all to wear protective eyewears in a bid to prevent any kind and form of eye injury. Wearing contact lenses should be by prescription. Protect and care for eye lenses properly so as to keep safe from eye traumas, as well as reduce the estimated 2.2 billion visual impairment cases worldwide.
Time for us to take you out of the country, where a South African non-governmental organization have provided material aid amounting to $1.2 million to some citizens affected by the February 6th earthquake, which occurred in Turkey and in Syria. This story and other African updates will be yours in the following report, compiled by Catherine Kongwe.
Let's begin the news out of the country in South Africa, where a non-governmental organization have provided in kind aid amounting to approximately $1.2 million for those affected by the Kahramanmaraş-based earthquake that occurred on February 6, 2023. Extending its hand of friendship to Turkey from at least 10,000 kilometers away, the Republic of South Africa has become one of the countries sending the highest number of aid materials and search to rescue personnel from the African continent. And now over 300 people returned from Tunisia to Mali and Ivory Coast On Saturday, after boarding repatriation flights fearful of a wave of violence, since the president launched a tirade against migrants. President Kais Saied had ordered officials to take urgent measures to tackle irregular migration, claiming that a criminal plot was underway to change Tunisia's demographic makeup. Saied claimed that migrants were behind most crime in the North African country, fueling a spate of sackings, evictions and attacks. Meantime, we remain in Tunisia, where hundreds of Tunisians rallied in Tunis on Sunday, March 5, 2023, in defiance of a protest ban. They demanded the release of more than 20 prominent figures opposed to the president who were arrested in recent weeks. The personalities included members of the main opposition coalition, the National Salvation Front. Among the protesters are NSF members, relatives of imprisoned public figures, some of whom were locked behind bars under ruler and ousted President Zine El Abidine Ben Ali. In February, the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights expressed concern over the deepening crackdown against perceived political opponents and civil society in Tunisia, including measures taken by authorities that continue to undermine the independence of the judiciary.
And in sports, matches counting for day 15 of the Cameroon's Top Light Flash Championship went on the way this weekend in stadia across the national territory. The following report will give you details of the match results.
Match day 15 of the Cameroon Elite One Championship went on the way this weekend in stadia across the national territory. PWD Social Football Club of Bamenda, Bambutus FC of Mbuda and Colombe of Nja and Lobo were all defeated this match day 15. Canon of Yaoundé and Apejes of Fu recorded impressive away wins to UMS and Bambutus respectively. Talking about Eding Sport de Laleki, who were held to a 1-1 draw by Renaissance of Ngomo, Mbaga Manga Messi gave Renaissance of Ngomo the lead in the 78th minute of the match, but 3 minutes later, their goalkeeper Vladimir Laroche helped Eding Sport with an own goal that helped Eding to grab a point. Canon of Yaoundé recorded a 2-0 win over UMS of Loum, who are leaders of Pool A. Eyong Prizo opened scores for Canon Yaoundé in the 6th minute of the match. Meanwhile, Eyong Academy defeated Colombe of Nja and Lobo by 1-0, and it was renamed the team captain of Eyong Academy who scored the lone goal for Eyong in the 63rd minute of the match. All efforts from Colombe to get back into match were futile. The match Kotong Sport of Garoua versus Njiko FC has been postponed to March 21, 2023, and this is because Kotong Sport of Garoua traveled over the weekend to face Al Ali in the CAF Champions League. Over in Pool B, just like on match day 14 against Union of Douala, Alexis Yuguda was on target again for Gazelle in Bafoussam. He scored the lone goal that secured all 3 points for Gazelle, and the game ended 1-0 in favor of Gazelle, defeating Fovu Club of Baham. Football lovers in Yaoundé were treated to a 5-goal thriller by Dragon and Young Sport Academy of Bamenda. Yosa went into the break with 3 goals up thanks to goals from team captain Tegemo Emmanuel, Chindo John Bosco and Mael Dinjeke. RS Fortuna picked up a 2-1 win over Yafut. Astra of Douala defeated Fauve Azul by 2-1, while Bambutus FC of Mbuda lost to Apejes of Fu by 1-0. And it was Apejes of Fu who pulled visibly one of the shocking results of the match day 15 games, defeating Bambutus in Mbuda by 1-0, courtesy of a goal from Joseph Apam. Meanwhile, the resignation of coach Thomas Libi is what is making waves in the Elite 2 Championship. He announced his resignation on Saturday in Bafoussam after his side suffered a 2-0 defeat to Rangers FC of Bafut, a result which caused some of the fans to aim insults at the 54-year-old, who took over as head coach just in January 2023.
The sports jury puts a cap on today's edition of the 6:30 p.m. newscast on My Media Prime Television, which was supervised by Editor-in-Chief Faith Tata and produced by Ewane Nolinga. For presentation, I was Macdella, Eyong, Bisong. See you tomorrow. Have a good night.